Hi everyone, and welcome to Words with DatOneLady. Welcome, guys, to today's episode of the podcast. And like you already know, we're doing the graduate school series. And today we have another guest in the house to join us talking about everything graduate school. Hi, guest. Do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Melvin, but most people know me as Chooks or Emeka. Yourself,
Yes.
you've always known me as Emeka. So,
Exactly.
but then since I moved to the abroad, yeah, I've always been known as Melvin. So for simplicity, yeah, Melvin.
Awesome. So yes, guys, today we have Melvin on the episode. For the rest of the episode, I'm gonna call him Emeka. So if you hear me say Emeka, I'm talking to the same guest. Like he has already explained, Melvin. But since he moved to the abroad, well, we call him Melvin, but I call him Emeka for short. All right. So today on the episode, we'll be talking about FOMO. And if you don't even know what FOMO is, let me explain. FOMO is fear of missing out. And it's something that a lot of people have. And we're talking about FOMO as it relates to being outside your country, being outside of home, and things are happening at home. Everything is happening for your friends, family, siblings, and you're just not there. We're going to, dive into it and try to understand. Emeka's going to be sharing his experiences. I will share some parts of mine, but today he has the floor. So now, Emeka, tell me, have you ever, or before we even go ahead, do you want to tell us like where you moved to and where you moved, if you're comfortable with that?
Sure. I moved to about 5, 6 years ago. I moved to Australia. Crazy, yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Far away from
everyone is.
everybody.
Yeah. People say it's the end of the world.
It is.
Even my mom doesn't think it's on planet Earth. Anyway, I moved to Australia about 6 years ago now to study in the university. So yeah, so I'm making this recording this podcast from Australia. Yeah.
Awesome. That's the fun part about online stuff. So, imagine Australia, a whole different continent, and we're here in the Canada worlds. But all right. Anyway, so tell me, since you moved, have you had any feeling of FOMO?
So FOMO, fear of missing out. Um, I won't say it's a fear. I'm not afraid of it because I think I knew what I was getting into when I moved away from friends and family. However,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of just missing out, not necessarily being afraid of it, but just missing out.
Mm,
So yeah,
yeah.
I have. So let's just say I have.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of my sister, for instance, having a child, um, my parents growing old, all my friends
Mm-hmm.
getting married or ahead in life or making one
Yeah.
major life change or the other. Generally, just friends and family
Yeah.
moving on in life, and I'm just missing out. And it's. I think it's kind of when you're in Australia, somewhere as far as Australia, it's kind of intensifies it because it's so far.
It's not a journey you
Can't
can just make like
eh,
that.
can't quickly jump on the plane to attend the friend's wedding.
Yeah.
you know, you have to plan. Yeah. So yeah, for me, I have.
Yes, yes, I totally agree with you because when you think about it, like when you're in a different country, Nigeria, and you are maybe in the US, Canada, Australia, the UK, wherever it is, those kind of trips is not a trip that you make within seconds and say, oh, I'll go today and come back tomorrow. It's something you have to plan for like maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Factor in the
Uh,
fact that you are supposed to like be in the
yeah.
air for like a couple of days or hours. Or think about like what's the point before I travel? If I'm going to spend at least 4 days in getting to where I'm going to and coming back, I need to make sure that I have extra 2 weeks additional to like the number of days I'll be in the air. And it's just a lot. It's not like something you can just plan like that. In your number of years of being away from home, have you gone home very often?
So not really. I've been home just once in 2018. and that was for a period of 6 weeks. And I'm looking forward to going home again. Thanks to the pandemic, I can't do that.
Oh God, tell me about it.
Uh, yeah. So in the space of about it's been actually 5.5 years, give or
Mhm.
take. I just call it 6 years. I've been home only once, and
Happy
yeah,
for you. I'm
you're
happy.
happy for me.
Yeah, that at least you've been
So
home once. I've not.
you haven't
I haven't. Like I haven't been
is it
home.
you
I had
haven't
a
been home because you don't want to go.
no.
Oh,
I had a whole trip planned out last year, and like the pandemic and the panoramic, like everybody calls it, kind of destroyed things for me. And like for me, fear of missing out is something that I have experienced like over and over again. Not being home, being away from family, my siblings, like doing amazing stuff, graduating from three of them graduated from school and I wasn't there. My niece is growing and growing every day. And I'm like, I just see all our birthday celebrations over the phone and I'm like, oh my God. But the thing is, how do we take care? Like all this being said, I still had someone who texted me recently, and I was like, "That one lady, how do you take care of yourself, knowing that you've been away from home that long? What do you do? Like, how do you do it?" And sincerely, I didn't even have like what they call that thing. I didn't have like a suggestion or a tip. Where I was like, just try to stay connected and all that. But what would be your advice to someone who's been away from home for long, having the fear of missing out and all of that? How do you tell them to cope, or what would you?
I mean, we're in the age of the internet now, so
True.
I don't think it should um be much of an issue. I mean, think back like 20, 30 years ago.
Oh my God, when it was
Think about how it would have been. You wouldn't even hear or see. Maybe you would go to one of those old telephones,
I know
you know
you
those,
line up, right?
yeah,
Oh, that would be
and then
crazy.
you would kind of make a you would probably tell your family that, oh, next in 2 months time I'll be calling you on
Oh
so
my
date or so
God.
time, and then you would have probably paid for your own phone call on the other part of the world, and you pay for your own, and then you'll be waiting on the phone probably for like the entire day. Then you guys would like, when it's time, you would telephone them.
Ah, that's the way I say exactly that they
But
telephone them. Oh my
yeah,
God.
but nowadays it's kind of easier in the sense that I mean, my mom, I don't even need to call my mom. She's the one who places this call. She calls me on video call if she wants
Yeah.
to see me.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like you said, the fear of missing out, like I think I was just speaking to one of my friends the other day and telling him why I had to go back to Nigeria because my parents are growing and they're getting older, and it's like between the last video call I had and the most recent one, I could notice there was a difference in how much my mom had aged.
Oh my
So it's
God.
like, yeah, so it's like, you know, I'm missing this, I just want to be there to see them, and while they're still, up and
Alive.
about and being,
Yeah.
have the ability to do whatever. So yeah, I think personally for me, okay, to answer your question, there's really nothing you can do about, you know, um, like that's not already been done.
Yeah.
Like
True.
you're making calls, you're um having making video calls, talking to them like every week, every two
Yeah.
weeks.
True.
What do you want to do?
What else?
You
Exactly.
plan, you plan to go home, you know.
But
That's what
sometimes.
it is.
Yeah, but like the pandemic, most of us we're not able to, even if you plan for it.
Yeah, true. That is true. That is true. However, in my own case, I think I've gotten really used to living away from family because
Yeah.
throughout my life I've always been the one out from home. So right after my primary school, I went into boarding school. I
Yeah,
was
true, true, true. I remember.
away from family. I went to university in another different state away from family, and now
Yeah.
I'm here away from family. So
If
I
you're
think over
used
the
to it.
years, like I got used to it. But yeah,
But that's the thing, like Emeka just said, like it's come almost hard to say this is what you do. Like the only
mm,
thing I would tell someone who's asking me that what do I do when I'm having fear of missing out is be in contact, try to be in
mhm.
contact, and maybe try to plan a trip, and maybe it's something that you'll be looking forward to.
Yeah,
Because when you
yeah,
plan a trip, you're
exactly.
like, oh my God, I'll be there in so number of months, so number of
Mhm.
months. So yeah, it helps.
And
But
when you're
another,
there,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, when you're there, like when you eventually get home, you make the most of it. You make
Exactly.
as many memories as you. possibly
You
could.
can. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so you just enjoy yourself. So you know, okay, when you travel back to wherever you're coming from, if you stay 2, 3 more years, but at least you have something to look back, to and say,
Yeah.
oh, I remember it felt like yesterday,
Yeah.
because I was having so much fun.
True. Even for me, with the whole fear of missing out, one thing I always tell my sisters to do for me is send me pictures. I remember my grandma, before my grandma died a year or 2 years ago, when she was in my parents' house, I told them, send me pictures every time, send me videos that she's there. When she died, I cried my eyes out because I never got to say goodbye, but I did speak to her numerous times when she was back with my parents. But when she died, I was so sad. But I had things to look back at and say, oh, I'm so glad I got these pictures. I'm so glad I got these videos. So like when you're in touch with them, try as possible to get things that would, keep you company. For me, what keeps me company is their pictures, their videos, or I could randomly just tell my parents to record a video for me. Randomly tell my niece to record a video, a voice note, and send to me. And that's something that keeps me going. If that would work for anybody who's listening, that'd be perfect to do. But if phone calls and video calls are the best, that's awesome. Go ahead and do it. Another thing that I would like to ask Mecca is on missing out. Just apart from family, there's the food you're used to, like the home food, cookings of home. And trust me, when you're outside your home country, it's totally different when it comes to food. It's totally different when it comes to culture. What do you do to take care of that fear of missing out on food? And again, on dance, like styles, like, we're from Nigeria. In
Mm.
Nigeria, our dance, like, is different. There are different dances every day. You see online, music, and all of those things. How do you take care of that? Or how do you work
Well, I think there's levels to this. First of all, I remember when in 2018 I went back to Nigeria, and once I got off the plane, I was with my cousin. The first place we went to was a restaurant to eat,
with correct
and
food?
correct food. Man, like I had like rice and plantain and
Uh,
fried meat. Like, I mean, I could make these things myself in Australia, but the one in Nigeria hits
it's
different.
just different. It just has this different
It's
taste to it.
hits you at the back of your head.
Oh my
So
God.
so yeah, it's like, yeah, that's one of the things, as someone who's been living outside the country, you always look forward to. But in terms of what you do about it, if when you find that you're missing out,
Yeah.
funny enough, here in Australia, you would find, um, it's not like the UK where you would readily see like Nigerian restaurants or like the
Yeah.
US.
Yeah.
It's we don't have, I mean, we are growing, but the Nigerian community here is not,
That's
you know,
big.
as big as say in UK or the US. However, they're still there, and in tiny, tiny, tiny pockets, you would find maybe one Nigerian restaurant, in the whole of a city, or
That's
you would
crazy.
what you would definitely find is group of Nigerians that know where to get what.
Yeah, and that's very
Don't-
important. Having a
yeah, they
group of
know
people.
exactly. So they know. So like if they'll probably be on a WhatsApp group. They know where to get what. So if you're into cooking, like myself, I'm not like crazy about cooking. I like um
Burgers.
I know how to cook, but I'm not crazy about cooking.
Mm-hmm.
People who are crazy about cooking would go to the ends, like they would do their homework, know where to get the pepper,
Ingredients
the
and stuff.
Cameroon pepper, the palm oil, the whatever. And we have other African shops, East African, and shops that would sell things that are similar to what we use over in Nigeria,
Yeah.
and also Ghanaian shops too. So you can choose. You try your best to find the ingredients that you could use them to
Yeah, to make food and
replicate
stuff. Yeah.
the Nigerian experience. I can assure you, it's never going to be 100% Nigerian, but at least it's
Yeah.
going to be really close, and
Yeah.
that's how you take care of that fear of mixing out, Nigerian food and all.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Nigerian community is very important. Like
Very, very. Yes.
if food is your goal, like you don't want to miss Nigerian food, then you have to stay close to the Nigerian community, because then you get like that information, or you get people who will be able to get these things for you, or you'll be able to make friends that will invite you over every other Sunday to come eat
Yep. That's so
and soup
correct.
in their house. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so correct. And that's something that we'll talk about in other episodes of this podcast, because this is all a graduate school series season that we're doing. And we'll go into like like friendships that are important as an international student and going to grad school outside your country, and like communities are very important. And just like Emeka just said, if you live in a country different from your home, finding your people is very important. They would expose you to things that would help you. They've been there before, they've had these experiences. They would, like, bring you to the crew that you would feel less of that FOMO that you would feel when because or if you're all by yourself. And please, you cannot, like, being solo as being in a different country. Oh, it does not work.
Man.
It does not work at all. I've tried
I
it.
mean,
Oh my
yeah,
god, it's bad.
exactly. You're right. You're absolutely right. I tried it, in my first few years while I was in Sydney. I was just by my like the first couple of years was just me and like I mean I had all the for instance, I had all this stuff my mom sent me,
Of
when I was
course.
coming back. All the stuff she prepared me. But I mean that is just not enough.
Mm-mm.
It's like I've experienced being alone by yourself, away from your fellow Nigerians,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've also experienced being with your Nigerians. I think I would always take the later, because it's like when you are with your fellow Nigerians and they are blasting out the latest Burna Boy song or
As in,
Whiskey or
you
whatever.
feel you're
It's like they
home.
are, it's like you're eating barbecue that the pepper inside is mad. It's like it just
Oh my
the
god.
whole gathering it's more enjoyable. Like it takes you back home, like to the
Home.
whole
Yeah.
Nigerian party setting. It's
Yeah.
100. It's different. Like you spoke about music earlier too.
Yeah.
That is another one. It's like the music. It's so if you're the kind of person who goes to the club, you would find out that it's. I mean, you might not enjoy
Yes, it's
clubbing
westernized
in.
music in
Yeah,
a different
like
country.
it's just completely different in Nigeria. The one in Nigeria, like I said, it's just like there's a spirit inside there that just takes control of us, and
First
it's
of
like
all, music has a spirit with it, and so like
yeah,
all Nigerian music is a whole different language. Let's not even lie. So true.
yeah. So if you're into the whole music thing, you like Nigerian music, you like Nigerian food, man, you have to look for your community,
Yep.
like your Nigerian community, and make friends, stick with them. In fact, 2 days ago, um, if a brother, a Nigerian fellow, just went to surprise his newly wedded wife anyway, and over at she lives in another city,
Mm-hmm.
so he packed all his goons in a van,
Oh, that's
and
so
then they went
sweet.
to surprise her city. Why am I telling you this? Because they didn't know each other before they came to Australia.
Yeah.
They met in the whole, like in a Nigerian party, like someone was
Yeah.
holding a barbecue and they saw each other and they met, and they got married and now they're having a child
Oh,
together.
that's so
All
sweet.
in the space of like 2 years. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's another important of
Aspect of it.
yeah.
No, seriously, like no matter what country you're from, because I know people who listen to this podcast are not only Nigerians. So take for instance, they're from India, from Asia, or any part of Asia, wherever you are from, and you're in a different country outside your home country and you're studying for school, it's very important that you find your family, find your community, because they would help you a whole lot to get through like FOMO, when you're missing home, when you're missing food from home, music from home. Like it helps a lot. For me personally, I have a friend who she always like, tells me, have you listened to this song? This album is out, da da da, that's Nigerian
Mm.
oriented. And I'm like, thank you so much. They guys, she's always the plug. Do you
Mm.
understand? So it's so good to have that family. You cannot do it by yourself. I tried it up myself and man, it never worked out. And as Mecca said, it doesn't work out. It always just ends up you being lonely, tired, missing
Mm.
home very, very often. When you have these friends here to support you, you would miss home
Mhm.
for sure. They don't take
Mm.
away the fact that you would miss home. You would miss home,
Mm.
but you'll be
Mm.
lesser than when you're just doing it all by yourself.
True that.
Anyway, do you have anything to add? Any pointers for those who are having FOMO at the moment, or about to leave home and they're like, I don't want to go, but you know,
Well, I personally think anyone who is planning to leave Nigeria for here have already dealt with that a long time ago. So
yeah,
it's like they've set their buys in their minds and they've already had their mindset, so it shouldn't be an issue for them. So yeah.
True. Yeah. Oh, that's good. So, it's like, do you have any final points for anybody who's already here, has been here for like a year, or has left their home country for like a year or 2 years, and they're like, I miss home. How do I do this? How do I cope? Any last one? I know we've pointed out a few. Stay connected, find your family, and
Man,
plan a
even
trip.
it's it's simple as just kind of socialize and
Mm-hmm.
you know just be open to
Meeting people.
opportunities, be open to opportunities of meeting new people. See, your community might even be Nigerians, it might be from a whole different
Different
set of
country. Yes.
country. Yeah, my community when I came to Australia for the first time, it wasn't Nigerians. We're
Okay.
like a bunch of it was people from the Asian community because
Yeah.
where I went to school, we had like the majority of them were Asians.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I it kind of helped me, you know. Yeah, I missed home, but kind of I had friends to hang out with, so that was
It's
easy.
true.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so just socialize, stay out there, be open to conversations with strangers, and try to get out, get involved in activities. Look for your passion or hobbies, and try to find people who share the same hobbies or passions with you, and eventually you find your crew.
That's so true. Like, for I would one thing that Emeka just said that I would like to point out very particularly is your community, your crew, your friends that you meet or that you make do not have to be people from your home country. They could be people from
Mm,
somewhere else who you find to actually gel the same way, relate the same way, and like they are relatable to the things that you do and are very good friends. Like, very important. And then one other thing, it points out, which is important, do something else from school, socialize. Don't just be like school oriented all through. I'm someone who was school oriented all through, and I was lonely, tired, angry almost every time because I just missed home a lot. So yes, it's very important. We've dropped very, very cogent points that I feel like is important to everybody to know. Find your family. They don't have to be from your country. Make sure you socialize, meet people, go out of your rooms and meet people. Don't only go to class and come back. Your classmates can become very good friends. Try as much as possible to be in contact with home. Don't be out of sight is out of mind. Also, maybe plan a trip. Even if it's a year away, plan it. It helps you to look forward to something and make you not miss home as much. Yeah, we've had like very, 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 very strong points. Melvin, any last words before we close out the episode?
Um, last words. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've said everything I wanted to say. So,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
All right.
no
Now
last
that's
words.
totally fine. No last words.
My last words: Nigerian jollof forever.
Oh my God, don't start a war on my podcast. Don't do that. Don't do, but I'll leave this in. I'll leave this in. Nigerian Jollof forever. Please, anybody that wants to come for Nigerian Jollof rice, you go and sit down somewhere else. Nigerian Jollof is the best. We do goods like that. Anyway, thank you so much, Mecca, for joining us in the podcast
Yeah.
today. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it so much, don't forget to share. Let your friends know. Let your sister, brothers, uncle, mothers, fathers know about it. It can help anybody. This can help anybody at all. So go ahead and share it. If you also have a question, comments, things you'd like me to do more, or anything you'd like me to hear, go ahead and leave me an email. Check the description and you will find my email there, and I would love to hear back from you guys. Thank you so much once again, and until next time, keep living, keep loving, and ensure that you're living your truth. And until the next podcast, have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.